Hello everybody and welcome to this Alex Film Computers episode. In this lesson I'm going to be talking to you about how to change the theme and the look of your terminal. I'm using GNOME terminal here on Ubuntu. If you right click on any open space and then you click Preferences, or you could do it by clicking on this and then clicking Preferences. So now you're probably going to see this. You'll probably also see something under Profiles. This is your only profile so far. And what this little check mark means is that it's the default profile. So when you open up your terminal, you just make a new window of your terminal, it will look like this. Now, if you could customize the original profile, but to show you how the profiles work, I'm actually going to create a new profile. I'm going to call this my profile. And I'm going to set this as the default. So now, if I open a new terminal window, it will go to this new profile. Now, of course, this new profile isn't customized at all. This new profile, let's just go into these colors thing. We cannot customize what this says or what this is because it uses the colors from the system theme. So this system theme will change depending on your GNOME theme and GNOME shell theme. I have a video on how to change that. But to customize your terminal, you'll have to uncheck this. Next, you can choose any of these built-in schemes, but you'll probably want to edit one of these. So to edit, you can just edit this, click select, and it'll automatically bring you to the custom if you ever edit anything. So if you ever want to just go back, so these are actually two different profiles, but they're just both solarized dark. Another thing about profiles is that you can click on this and choose your profile without having to go into your settings and set the default. So if you want to do this, you can, but I like personally to edit my themes because it just looks a little bit better. So if you check Use Transparency from System Theme, you can't change your transparency. So if you uncheck that and then check Use Transparent Background, you'll see that this is now transparent, and you can change the transparency of it. You can even make it completely. Now that I have changed the transparency and the color of my terminal, now I can move on to the color palettes of the text. So there's another type of scheme for the text, and this changes ever so slightly. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Okay, so if you'll notice when I change this Linux console, the Linux console scheme slightly changed that. If I check Xterm, it's slightly different. RxVT, I didn't really notice that much of a difference there, but there is a difference, solarized. And lastly, custom, which if you select a particular one of these, like let's say Linux console, and then click custom, it drops you off on Linux console, and you can customize your colors. I like to usually show bold text in bright colors if my background is very transparent. So if I do that, you can kind of see it a little bit more clearly. Next, we're going to go into the text section. And this is the initial terminal size. So right now, this is actually completely huge. So if I just open a new terminal, the terminal size, this is the terminal size. So it's 80 by 24, see that? And it's 80 by 24 rows. I can change that. I actually kind of like it to be like this. So let's say I wanted it to be like this. I could see what this is. It's 80 by 31. So I'd click 31. And now if I exit this and then go back in, it automatically brings it to that initial terminal size. You can also add a custom font to this. So if I add a custom font, you can see it already changes it, but I can choose like monospace regular, and there's so many that you can choose depending on which fonts are installed. And if I do Ubuntu Mono Bold, for example, it changes the font to that. So there's also cell spacing, so let's say I wanted to make this a little bit more like 2. This changes the spacing in between each of your characters, and this is affixed with font, so each of the characters will be the same length no matter what you choose on this. So if I go back to 1, you can see that it is normal. Fix width, and then you could change the width of that too. But I don't usually like to do that. You can just click reset on any of them, and it'll fix it. The cursor shape, you can make it a block, which is the default. You can do an I-beam, so like you can see like this, and then you can like go in here, and it's pretty much the same thing. It's just that it is not a block, and it is not an underline. So there's also an underline, similar to the block, just has the bottom and nothing else. Cursor blinking is default. So that's all I have to say for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.